Welcome to Making Memoir Magic, the podcast where we unlock the power of your story and guide you through the magical process of turning life experiences into memoirs that inspire and impact. I'm your host, Carrie Kreisman, a memoir mentor and storytelling champion, and I'm here to help you find the courage to embrace your unique story and share it with the world. Whether you're just starting out or refining your final draft, this is the place to be for practical tips, inspiration, and the encouragement you need to write the memoir only you can tell. Ready to make some magic? Let's dive in. Welcome back to Making Memoir Magic, the podcast that reminds you that your story matters, even on the days when you feel like it's all been said before. I'm Carrie, your memoir mentor and storytelling cheerleader, and a published author, writing teacher, and someone who has learned the hard way that showing up for your story is one of the bravest and most rewarding things you can do. And today, we're going to talk about the magic of showing up. Not just once, not just when the stars align, but consistently, lovingly, and especially when it feels hard, because that is where the transformation happens. So let me start with a personal story, not about writing, but about working out. Now stay with me here. A few months ago, I signed up for Pure Barre, an intense barre class that combines ballet, Pilates, and tiny, precise movements that work your muscles in ways you didn't know were possible. And let me tell you, it humbled me fast. Those first classes were brutal. I was shaking within the first 10 minutes. My legs trembled. My arms felt like wet noodles. There were moments I genuinely thought I might pass out or fall over, let's be real, or maybe sneak out quietly and never return. But honestly, sneaking out was never an option, even if sometimes I would text my daughter afterward and said, I almost died today in Pure Barre, or on another day, I didn't die today, and I was so happy. So even though I felt weak and out of sync at first, and even thought I looked a little ridiculous, I kept showing up twice a week, no matter what, even when I didn't feel like it, especially then. And then something started to happen. My body got stronger. Yes, but it was deeper than that. I found rhythm. I found a kind of internal steadiness I didn't know I was missing. Then last week, life happened. You know how it goes. You get busy, you add a few more things to your calendar, and next thing you know, you're trying to figure out how to fit it all in. And I had only gone to one class. I pay for 8 classes a month, which is twice a week, and I definitely want to get my money's worth. So I really strive to make sure that I go twice a week. And to tell you the truth, I missed going. Something was a little off, but not in a bad way. My body was almost craving that movement. So I knew how important at that moment that Pure Barre had become to me, not just for fitness, but for what it represented, the commitment, the investment, honoring myself. I even cut short a long planned gathering with friends to make sure I didn't miss my Pure Barre class. And here's what I realized. When you start showing up for yourself consistently, the thing that once felt hard or indulgent starts to feel vital, necessary, like oxygen. And that's the place where real transformation begins. So that experience reminded me so much of writing, especially memoir writing. Writing a memoir isn't about typing up events from your life like a timeline. It's about feeling your way through your story, remembering, reflecting, making meaning. It's about putting your heart on the page. And that, my friend, can feel just as vulnerable and shaky as those early Pure Barre classes. When you're starting out, questions swirl in your head. Where do I even begin? What if my story isn't interesting enough? What if I start and never finish again? And let me tell you, I've been there. I know what it's like to write a book so badly you can taste it and still feel like you're standing on the outside of your dream, unsure of how to get in. But here's the thing. Just like with any physical practice, writing gets easier and more rewarding the more you show up. At first, you may only manage a few lines a day. You might cringe at your early drafts. I know I did. I famously talk about the 5,000 word chapter that ended up being a mere paragraph, or rather, a mere few sentences within a paragraph of my book. But it had to get messy before it got clear. So you might be wondering, am I cut out for this at all? But you still keep going, right? You show up again, you read what you wrote, you rewrite, you learn to trust your instincts. You begin to see the shape of your story take form. And one day, when life gets hectic, you don't write and you feel it. Something is off. You miss it. Your soul craves the release, the connection, the ritual of writing. Because when you show up for your story begins to show up for you. So I created Make Memoir Magic, my 4-part online course, because I know how hard it can be to take that first step. And I know how lonely it can feel to write a memoir without support. I also know what it's like to try a writing course and feel like it didn't work for you. Maybe the material felt outdated. Maybe there wasn't enough guidance. Maybe it lacked soul. So that is why my course is different. I have walked the journey. I am an average person who decided to tell her story of lessons, of experiences, of moments woven together over 22 years. That was my story. It was my journey. And it wasn't just a collection of lessons or how to's, it was my momentous story that I needed to get out onto paper and that I wanted to share with the world. I was that committed to it. And I know that you have a story inside of you that you probably feel that way about. And when I teach memoir, I love to have my students on the journey with me. And that's what my course does. Make Memoir Magic isn't just sending you lessons and templates and PDF documents. It's 4 weeks of live group coaching where we meet after you've gone through each lesson or each lesson within the module. That's right. There's 16 lessons total. And within the module, there are 4 lessons each. So week by week, we go through it together. You bring me your questions, your concerns. You even bring me writing samples if you want. Make Memoir Magic is a step-by-step framework that teaches aspiring authors how to write, publish, and promote their memoirs from that first spark to the final sentence. And when you join today, when you're listening to this, I'm going to gift you a one-on-one memoir clarity session. So that's our time to spend together. You get to ask me what you want, just you and me. And I guarantee you'll never be stuck staring at a blank page again or alone. When you join Make Memoir Magic, you also get an encouraging, like-minded community of memoir writers who are walking the same brave path as you. So one more thing, you also get $100 off the full price if you sign up before May 3rd. So because I believe in your story, even if you're still unsure, because I've been where you are, and because I know deep in my bones that when you invest in your story, everything else in your life begins to shift. It's not selfish to want to publish a book or tell your story. It's sacred. It's not indulgent. It's not an act of self-trust, and it's not a maybe someday, it's now. So maybe today is your sign to put your name on the list. Stop waiting for the right time. And maybe today is the day that you start showing up for yourself one word at a time. So you can find all the details and join me in the next cohort of Make Memoir Magic at carriekreisman.com. I will also put the link in the show notes to my website where you can learn all about it, but also to the sales page where you can go directly there and sign up and get your questions answered as well. I've put a lot of frequently asked questions that other students asked me before they signed up and that I would have asked myself because I get it. Investing in yourself is not easy to do. We often take care of others and put others first. And eventually you find out, just like I do when I miss my barre class, that you're missing something. And maybe what you're missing is this investment in you, in learning how to craft compelling narrative that inspires and educates and entertains. Because I promise you, when you decide to tell your unique story through memoir, you are going to do all of those things. Someone out there, more than one person actually, needs to hear your story, and it's up to you to bring them on that journey, invite them into your world, and show them your lived experience so that they can learn from you through your story. So thank you for spending time with me today. And wherever you are in your writing journey, I want you to remember this. Your story is worth telling, and I'll be right here cheering you on. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Making Memoir Magic. I hope today's conversation inspired you to take the next step toward telling your unique story through memoir. Remember, your story matters and someone out there is waiting to hear it. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It helps others find the show. You can also connect with me at my website, carriekreisman.com, on social media, on Instagram at Make Memoir Magic, or join my Facebook group, Making Memoir Magic for Aspiring Writers. You'll get more tips and inspiration on your memoir journey. Until next time, keep writing, keep sharing, and keep making memoir magic.